Hi, what is up guys? If you're new to this channel, my name is Benjamin Ong and I'm the CEO of 2XYC, and I created this channel because there's a lot of financial advisors out there that are, either broke or they have money but they lack the purpose and they're still unhappy and everything else. And hopefully through this channel of like documenting my process, my journey and things like that, would be able to help you to be happier, purposeful and wealthy. Today what I want to share, right, is like recently, I've been on coaching calls with our clients and stuff like that, and I think there was this, one of our clients brought this situation up that reminded me a lot of what I did last night when I was an advisor. So I just wanted to share that because I think that would be a valuable lesson that we could shed some light on as well. So back then, when I was a financial advisor, I was always told at the very least that, you need to build rapport, right? You need to build rapport. And when the understanding of rapport to me was just like chit chat with the client, right? Chit chat with the prospect. Go in and talk to this person, find out about them, understand them, blah, 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 right? And I think when I first started out, there was a lot of occasions, several occasions, where what I did was literally to just, if my appointments are 60 minutes, I spend the first maybe 15 to 20 minutes building rapport, right? Building relationships, asking about them, showing genuine concern, that kind of stuff, right? And what I realized at the end of the day was that most of the time when I spend more than 15, 20, 30 minutes building rapport, like I think the stats about like 8 out of 10 of these kind of prospects at the end of the day never either make it to the second appointment or they were never my clients, right? Like they never convert into a client. So what I realized was that building rapport, a lot of people think that building rapport is about like building trust, right? Because we're all told to build rapport, get a person to like you, that kind of stuff. But I realized that building rapport the objective of building rapport isn't about like building like trust per se, right? The objective of building rapport, and this is like a big one, kind of epiphany that I had, and I told, one of our clients, I said the objective of building rapport is to put someone in a good state, okay? So why is it putting someone in a good state, right? By building rapport, it's very simple. So you think about it, let's say you go for an appointment with a prospect and 10 minutes before the appointment with you, the prospect maybe had a quarrel with the husband or the wife, or maybe a bad news came saying that someone died. Maybe he or she encountered, the prospect encountered an incident where his or her boss gave him a dressing down, like just scolded him and get screwed and stuff like that, right? So basically they are not in a good state, right? Because they have just got all these negative experiences and incidents 10 minutes before your appointment. So the question here is, right, when they are affected by all these experiences or incident, when they go on the appointment with you, whether it's a Zoom call or face-to-face, how do you think their vibes or state of mind will be? Do you think it'll be good or bad? Obviously, it wouldn't be the best, right? Because they probably have brought along those emotions, and those emotions from the previous 10 minutes ago, you probably spill over into this appointment with you, right? So the question really asks is like, so if someone comes in and they're in a bad mood, for example, right, how well do you think your appointment is going to be like, right? How well do you think your appointment is going to be? Even let's say you have a perfect sales process, you know what to ask, you know what to say, everything else, right? And your concept presentation is fantastic. Like, how well do you think the appointment is going to be like if your prospect just had a news that his partner filed for divorce, for example, right? Obviously it's not going to be the best, right? And therefore, building rapport is to have that person opposite you, that party or whatever it is, to put them in a good state, right? To neutralize that state, if I put it that way, because they were like negative state, right? So obviously, and you probably experienced this in your life or with your friends or family before, when someone is in the bad mood, like your dad comes back and bad mood and they have black face and their vibes are not the best, and when you try to ask something or you try to talk to them, they're just like, just don't talk to me, right? So that when someone is in a bad vibe or negative state, whatever you say isn't gonna matter that much, right? They just want to sit in and just hear through and then just move on, right? So what you want to do is that instead of carry on the presentation in a negative state, you want to bring them down to if you can put them to a good state, obviously they're the best, but if you can't, at least neutralize that state, right? So that they are at least more open, they're at least more kind of like open to really listening to you and what you have to say in the next 30-45 minutes. Okay, so that's what building rapport is all about, right? Rapport is about putting someone in a good state. So if you look at kind of like the mechanics of like the building rapport, the technical side of it, right? If we understand that rapport is about putting someone in a good state, then obviously you don't have to take like 50 minutes to put that person in a good state, right? Usually it can be done, from my own experience, into a couple of like questions, probably not more than like 5 minutes, right? It could be questions like, hey, where have you came from? How are you? Is everything okay? You look a little bit not in a good state. How are things like? Etc., etc. But one of the best ways to actually put someone in a good state is by humor, right? So if you're kind of person that's a little bit more funny, a little bit more kind of like want to joke and stuff like that, and if obviously the prospect is okay, then obviously humor would be the best. Okay, but if not, you're just really asking those questions, to neutralize those state, right? To change their frame of mind as well, right? Otherwise, you probably feel that there's a ton of negative emotions that comes in. Okay, so basically, you have to sum up, rapport is really about like, putting someone in a good state so that they are open to listen to you for the rest of your presentation, right? So that's number one. Obviously, you can ask those usual questions, maybe small weather chit chat or whatever it is, to kind of like neutralize their state, right? And then number three, understand that rapport is not about building trust, because the very fact that even to build trust with a prospect or with a client, there's a lot of different factors, right? It could be the time or duration during which you know this person. It could be your concept presentation, the expertise. Does this person trust you? In terms of your expertise, does this person trust that you actually help people before? Does this person like you? I mean, there's a lot of different factors, right? To the trust building process. So it's not so much about the trust, but rapport is about putting someone in a good state. Okay, so I just want to share this with you because. And I hope that won't make the mistake like me back then, when I literally just spent 30-45 minutes just talking to prospects and showing interest and everything else, and at the end of the day there's no impact made, there's no money made, there's no sales whatsoever, right? So just because of the misconception or the understanding of like rapport in a sense. Okay, so this is basically just what I want to share with you, and I hope that you find this kind of like video helpful. Obviously you can see vulnerable moment here. I'm not really the best at speaking to the camera or like filming this video, at least right now, right? But I hope that I get better over time, and thank you for bearing with me this. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for your attention as well, and I'll do more to keep more of it. Cheers.